eyes and notice that
My
on your
peripherals,
ceiling.
awesome.
You got other clientele telling me you agree to the bet.
Man, it's just Mike's face, so, you know.
The internet spent years trying to expose a feud that may never have existed. For years, Counting Cars fans searched for answers, convinced there was a hidden conflict behind Ryan Evans's changing role on the show. Rumors spread, theories exploded, and before long, many viewers believed they already knew the truth. They didn't. So what really happened between Danny Koker and Ryan Evans? And how did one of the biggest mysteries in Counting Cars history take on a life of its own? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the rumors and the story fans never saw coming. The rumors that took over the internet.
What? I got everybody their own drifter. Wow.
When Counting Cars ended in 2021, fans were left with many unanswered questions. The show just stopped completely, with no announcement of a final season or explanation from the network about why it was ending. Danny Koker disappeared from the public eye almost completely. Ryan Evans wasn't posting on social media anymore. The Count's Customs shop seemed to vanish from the spotlight and the entertainment news cycle. The team that had been so visible for 10 seasons just disappeared. And that's when the rumors started spreading everywhere. They didn't trickle in slowly over time. They exploded all at once across every platform. People on YouTube and Reddit started speculating that Ryan Evans had embezzled money from Count's Customs. This was an incredibly serious accusation to make. It meant Ryan had stolen company funds for his own benefit. It meant he betrayed Danny's trust in the most fundamental way possible. It meant there had been a criminal act at the heart of the business. The rumors spread through YouTube comment sections, Reddit threads, and every corner of the internet where Counting Cars fans gathered to discuss the show. People shared it as an absolute fact, without any verification. They made videos about it, claiming it was true. They debated the details in the comment sections as if they were confirmed facts. The story grew bigger and bigger with each retelling. Each new video added more details and speculation. Then there were separate rumors about conflicts between Ryan and Danny. Fans claimed they had seen real tension on the show in recent seasons and that the two men weren't getting along anymore. They believed that the tension was why Ryan disappeared from the camera. Some others claimed Ryan quit because he was unhappy with his job at the shop, while some chose to believe that Danny had fired him for some unknown reason. A few even suggested there had been a physical altercation between them. The rumors kept multiplying constantly. Each one is more dramatic than the last one. People also speculated that the shop was shutting down for good because Danny was in serious legal trouble and the business was failing financially. Fans began to wonder if Counting Cars ended because Count's Customs itself was going out of business. They created detailed stories about what might have happened behind closed doors that nobody knew about. None of this was verified by any source. None of it was confirmed by anyone with actual knowledge. But it all spread like wildfire across the internet anyway. The absolute worst part was that no one was talking publicly. Danny didn't make any statements defending himself. Ryan didn't defend himself or address any accusations. The shop's social media went completely quiet. Count's Customs wasn't posting updates anymore. There were no statements, no explanations, nothing. The silence made everything worse. When people don't hear the truth from reliable sources, they fill the gap with lies and speculation. And that's exactly what happened. But in 2025, both men decided it was finally time to tell the actual truth. Danny Koker breaks his silence first. Danny Koker decided to sit down with reporters and address all the rumors head-on. He wasn't going to let false stories about his business and his people keep spreading without correction. He brought journalists to Count's Customs, showed them around the facility, and proved the shop was still operating and accepting new projects. He showed them Ryan Evans and Horny Mike, both of whom were actively working on custom cars. Then he sat down for an actual conversation to talk about the embezzlement rumor specifically, which had been the most damaging claim. Danny was asked directly about the serious accusation that Ryan Evans had stolen money from the company. His response was emotional and powerful. He said, "That is a horrible rumor about Ryan. My lord, this guy has been with me for 25 years. This guy is like a brother, like family. We truly love each other like family. We've worked together, no kidding, for at least 25 years, and there are all kinds of stories about him stealing from me. It's ridiculous." Then Danny confirmed the actual truth about what really happened. He revealed that the embezzlement occurred and was committed by an employee in a managerial position who had access to financial information and company accounts. That person was later identified as Joseph Frontiera, an employee who had been caught stealing company money from Count's Customs. For a time, Joseph Frontiera appeared to be one of the rising stars at Count's Customs. Trusted with responsibilities behind the scenes and featured on television, he seemed to have secured a promising future at one of the most recognizable custom car shops in the country. But while cameras captured the excitement of the business, a very different story was unfolding behind closed doors. The trouble began when Danny and his team noticed financial irregularities. What initially looked like accounting mistakes soon turned into something much more serious. An internal investigation allegedly uncovered a shocking pattern of misconduct hidden within the company's finances. According to court filings, Joseph had embezzled more than $75,000 from the business. Investigators claimed the money was spent on expenses unrelated to the shop's operations, including a down payment on a personal Range Rover and airline tickets for private travel. But the allegations did not stop there. The investigation reportedly revealed forged company checks and another costly problem that threatened the business. Taxes that should have been paid on behalf of the shop allegedly went unpaid, resulting in an IRS penalty of approximately $18,000. What began as a financial discrepancy had escalated into a full-blown legal crisis. The fallout was swift. Joseph was terminated from Count's Customs and soon found himself facing felony theft charges. At the same time, the company launched a civil lawsuit not only against Joseph Frontiera, but also against Randstad, the recruiting firm that had originally recommended him for employment. The lawsuit argued that important information about Jospa's past had not been disclosed before he was hired, raising serious questions about how he had obtained the position in the first place. By 2019, the criminal case reached its conclusion. Joseph Frontiera received a sentence of time served, bringing the criminal proceedings to an end. The civil disputes were eventually settled as well, with Joseph ordered to compensate the shop. Danny went on to explain that the show's ending was not due to drama or internal conflict among cast members. The show ended because the network and the production company made that business decision, not because anything was wrong at the shop itself. Count's Customs was still operating perfectly. It was still taking on new projects. It was still functioning successfully as a business. The television show was just over. The show's ending didn't mean the business failed. It just meant the History Channel and the producers decided to move on to other programming. But the most important confirmation came when Ryan Evans himself finally spoke up and addressed all the accusations directly. Ryan Evans addresses every single rumor. Ryan Evans didn't make a big formal announcement or hold a major press conference. He simply confirmed through various interviews and public statements that he never left Count's Customs and never had any serious conflict with Danny. All the rumors about him were false. Every single one of them. He was still there, He was still working. He had never betrayed anyone. Ryan was still working at Count's Customs as the head artist and paint shop manager, a formal title and position. This was not just a job title to make him sound important. This was an actual management position. This meant he wasn't just a painter anymore who showed up and did artwork. He was managing the entire paint shop operation. He was making major decisions about the company's artistic direction. He was overseeing projects and staff, and, most importantly, he was second in command to Danny himself on the creative vision for Count's Customs. When Ryan addressed the intense speculation about him leaving or being fired, he simply said it wasn't true and had never happened. He confirmed that he and Danny were still actively working together, despite the television show ending, and that they were producing content on Count's Customs' official YouTube channel, which had over 190 videos and 130,000 subscribers. They were also making short-form videos for TikTok. They weren't secretly at war. They weren't avoiding each other. They were actively working together to keep their brand alive and relevant, even without the television show. Ryan also shared on his Facebook page about his personal projects and vehicle conventions he was attending, commenting on old Counting Cars episodes and sharing Count's Customs announcements and pictures. He wasn't hiding from the public. He wasn't staying silent out of anger or fear. He was just living his life normally and continuing his work without constantly being in the spotlight. What became very clear was that Ryan's noticeably reduced visibility on social media from 2021 to 2022 wasn't due to conflict or to being upset about something. It was simply because he was focused on his actual work and wasn't actively posting online during that particular period of his life. People misinterpreted his quiet social media presence as a sign that something was seriously wrong. But there was no problem at all. He was just being less vocal while he continued doing his job excellently at the shop. The bigger picture showed that everything people believed was completely wrong. What actually happened behind the scenes?
Oh my goodness, Wayne's collection, it's unreal. This place is like a car museum. I mean, he's got some of the most amazing cars ever made, all sitting right here.
The real story of what happened to Counting Cars has absolutely nothing to do with conflict among the cast members, betrayal, or anything dramatic like that. The show ended because History Channel and the production company made the business decision not to renew it. There was no public announcement explaining the decision. No explanation was given to fans about why it was ending. The network simply didn't renew it for season 11. That was that. This happens on television all the time, and it's completely normal. Shows end. Networks cancel things. Channels change their programming direction. It's a business decision based on ratings, costs, and what the network thinks will attract audiences. But because the ending wasn't explained publicly and wasn't accompanied by any statement from anyone involved, people created their own explanations. They thought something dramatic must have happened behind the scenes. They thought there must be a scandal or betrayal at the core. They thought someone must have done something seriously wrong to cause the show to end so abruptly, without notice. But Count's Customs itself never closed down. The business never failed. Danny was still doing business, and Ryan was still working there. The entire team was still creating custom cars and motorcycles. The shop's Facebook page featured regular updates and recent projects. They were active. They were working every single day. They were operating the business successfully and profitably. Danny also had to deal with the closure of various other business ventures, including the Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill, which officially closed in June 2025. Running multiple businesses is incredibly complicated and difficult. Some ventures work out and make money. Some ventures don't work out and you have to close them. That's just the nature of business. It doesn't mean there's a scandal or conflict. It just means business is always changing and evolving. The confirmation from both men revealed something really important about internet culture itself: how the internet created a false reality. What Ryan Evans and Danny Koker confirmed together is that the internet had created a completely false narrative out of nothing. People saw a show end without explanation. They saw silence from the people involved. They saw reduced social media activity from the people they followed. And they invented stories to explain it. They didn't wait for facts. They didn't reach out and ask questions. They just created theories and spread them as truth across the internet. The rumor about Ryan stealing money took hold so strongly because it fit the narrative people wanted to believe. It explained why the show ended. It explained why there was drama, silence, and separation. It gave people a villain to point at. It made the story more interesting, but it was completely false. The real embezzler was someone else, and Ryan had nothing to do with it at all. The rumors about the conflict between Danny and Ryan spread because people expected it. They thought that's what reality television was fundamentally about. They thought everything was drama, fighting, and betrayal. But the actual truth was so much simpler and less interesting. Two people who genuinely cared about each other had just stopped appearing on television together because the show was over. What's important to understand is that Ryan Evans' reduced presence in later seasons of Counting Cars wasn't because of conflict or tension. It was because the production team made creative choices about which cast members to feature prominently in each episode. This is completely normal in television production. Producers decide who gets screen time. It doesn't reflect the person's actual importance off camera. It doesn't mean there's conflict. It just means producers are making content choices. When the show ended completely, and Ryan wasn't as visible on social media for a time, people misinterpreted that absence. They thought it meant something was fundamentally wrong. They thought it meant he had left the shop or been fired. But the truth was, he was still working at Counts Customs. He was still doing his job. He was just not constantly posting about it online. The internet's tendency to fill information gaps with drama and conspiracy is incredibly powerful. It's especially powerful when celebrities stay quiet or don't respond to rumors. Silence feels suspicious. But sometimes silence is just someone choosing to focus on their actual work, rather than engaging in gossip and rumors. What Ryan and Danny's confirmation really proved was something much deeper and more meaningful. The real relationship that survived every rumor. What Ryan Evans and Danny Koker confirmed is that their actual relationship is completely different from what the internet thought it was. These aren't two people who tolerate working together out of necessity. These aren't professionals with tension they manage. Danny described Ryan as being like a brother, like family, and said that they truly love each other as family would. That's not just something you say. That's a deep emotional commitment. Ryan hasn't been with Danny for just a few years of television fame. He's been part of Counts Customs for over 25 years, working there together. That's a commitment that goes way beyond just having a regular job. Ryan was actually discovered by Shannon Eichow, Counts Customs' lead motorcycle builder, and brought into the shop by Danny and Shannon over 25 years ago, long before the television show even started. This relationship survived the television show and the rumors spreading online, and now it's continuing stronger than ever. Ryan and Danny are still actively working together, creating content on YouTube and TikTok. They're still collaborating on projects. They're still building cars and motorcycles together. The television show is what changed, not their relationship at all. What also became very clear is that Ryan is genuinely valued and respected at Counts Customs. He's not just a painter who shows up and does basic work. He's the head artist and paint shop manager. This means he is not only responsible for the artistic vision of the entire shop, he is trusted by Danny to oversee major projects.
I always like to mix up on the lowrider style paint jobs, pinstriping with back tape graphics, kind of like the little silver line there. I want to say that's an 1/8 inch line.
Ryan has also become one of the top painters in the world. That's not an exaggeration. His work has been recognized and celebrated internationally. He's created iconic designs that people remember years later. He's not just someone who works at a shop. He's an artist whose work defines what Counts Customs is known for. The confirmation from both Ryan and Danny proves that the internet had completely misunderstood their situation. People thought there was conflict when there was actually loyalty and commitment. People thought there was betrayal when there was actually partnership and family. People thought there was a scandal when there was just a television show ending and life continuing forward. Did the rumors about counting cars affect your view of the show or the cast members? And do you think the show would ever make it back to our screens anytime soon? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.